Okay, so we're back again with Christine. Again, she has the classical standard stuff that we're looking for. So we're going to turn her to the side, to the camera, and what we're going to see is if you look straight ahead at her, her ear and her shoulder do not match. Her ear is in front of her shoulder. This is classical forward head position. So what I'm going to ask her just to do is slide her chin back toward me. And once she does that, she now gets into the proper position or proper alignment. So that's actually one of the exercises we're going to give. So she's a candidate for the upper cross syndrome. So we're going to have her go to a more relaxed state again. And when she's relaxed, you can see that she has really no curve angle. It's straight as a beanpole. And what we commonly see is an increase in curve angle in the upper middle back with anybody who has that loss of curve angle in the neck. So that's where we stand right now. So we don't know if she's got this syndrome, but we do know she has the postural habits that is correlated with that. So then the next thing I'll do is I'll just test her interscapular muscles. So the first thing I might ask her to do is just retract your shoulder blades together, so squeeze them tight together. And she can do that, so manually she seems to hold that. That's pretty good. Now I'll challenge it a little bit. I'll have her bring her arm out. I'll hold here and I'll say, push against me, don't let me push out. So I'm feeling for this border of the scapula and see whether it stays tight to her body. And it actually does. So that's pretty good. So she's okay there. Not huge weakness there. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side because you got two sides and say push forward and hold and hold. And so that's good too. So right now she doesn't have the weakness component. Now I'm going to feel the muscles of her neck, and these are tight, but I'm going to always ask, is that sore to touch?
Yes.
And she's saying yes. Is it more sore here, or more sore here, or is it about the same?
This side.
So she has more pain on the left or more discomfort on the left over that area. So I'm also going to just check her, look at her from side to side, and I'm going to turn her this way because you might be able to see this or maybe not, I don't know. There's a slight tilt of her head off to that left side, which means that that muscle is overactive. It's helping pull her head that way. Okay, so then we're going to turn her back to the side. We've checked the tightness, and for weakness, we've got one, but not the other. So then we're going to check in the front to see if we have tightness. And this is, again, the opposite of this, right? This is the first cross. And I'm going to ask her if she's sore or tender over any of those muscles. And again, she's very sore over the left side. They feel tight to me. They don't give way to any kind of finger pressure. So she's got two of the tight components, tight here, but no weakness here. So let's just see if she's got weakness in the front. So we're going to lay her on her back, and we're going to test for that last piece, which is probably the critical one for most people, because even if they don't have the complete syndrome, there's still things we're going to want to fix on her. So I'm going to move over here, and then what we're going to have Christine do is tuck her chin backward. Keeping her chin back, she's going to lift her head. And we're going to ask her to hold it right there, and we're going to count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now at 8, you can see her head shaking a little bit. And now what I'm going to just simply do is manually try to depress her head. I'm going to ask her to hold her head there. Hold there. And she has difficulty doing that. It's probably a little uncomfortable, so she just lets it go. So we'll do that again. Tuck your chin, hold it there, and then push. And you'll notice that she doesn't completely let go, but what's the first thing you see happen is her chin comes up. So that's a sign to me of weakness in the deep neck flexor. So she's got 3 out of the 4. So we would want to correct those things before she develops 4 out of 4. And now, of course, we're going to look and see if there's a problem in the cervical spine, which there almost always is. Any of those imbalances will cause abnormal stress on all those joints, producing pressure on the nerve, which will malfire the muscles, etc., etc. So we would want to address that with some rehabilitative exercise, stretching, and the adjustments that we would do to help improve that. So that completes the upper cross syndrome, which is probably one of the most common things we see. And again, you don't have to have all pieces to have an issue going on. So this kind of problem is very commonplace in people who suffer from neck pain, headaches, etc. And when we fix that issue, those issues are resolved. And again, the whole concept is not just to get rid of your pain. Of course, that's the primary reason people come to see us, but it's to bring back functional mechanics and stability to your body so that you're a little healthier throughout the rest of your life. All right, thanks again for listening, and that was upper cross syndrome.